The Bible is a living word that reads us as we read it. It's a person, a voice that proves that time is not linear, as one sentence can confirm the past, guide the present, and declare the future. You are here. I am here. He is here. We are here right now. In the tomorrow of yesterday and in the yesterday of tomorrow, I thank you for joining today. So we're back. Thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure having you in the room once again. So, our last episode, we talked about like father, like son. Isaac mimicked some of the behavior of Abraham, and namely in the way that he interacted with Abimelech and how there was a famine that hit, and Isaac had to go and kind of kick it in the town that Abimelech lived in, and he deceived Abimelech by saying that Rebecca was his sister instead of his wife. And Isaac also showed that he had some of the same mindset as his father in the way that he valued legacy and the way that he protected what his father worked very hard for and redug the wells that the Philistines filled with dirt. But the episode before that, I want to kind of give you a recap of that one because that's kind of where we're gonna pick back up today. Um, Isaac and Rebecca got married. They had twin boys. Esau was the oldest. Jacob was the youngest. Even in the womb, they had beef, and God told Rebecca, like, you have two rival nations in your womb right now. And the way things are going to play out, the oldest son is actually going to serve the youngest. So we learned that Isaac favored the oldest Esau. He was a outdoorsy kind of guy. And Rebecca favored Jacob, who was more of a homebody. He liked cooking and he liked doing things around the house. And so one day Esau was hungry. He asked Jacob for some food that he was cooking, and Jacob strategically coerced him out of his birthright. So in this episode, Isaac has aged. He's getting older and he's losing his vision. And he calls for Esau. And he's like, "Yo, son, I don't know how much longer I have on this earth, boy. And I just want to bless you before I die. I want to give you that firstborn blessing." Uh, let me pause myself right there. So, reminder, typically the firstborns were the ones who would receive both the birthright and the blessing. So the birthright was more of like a tangible inheritance, like the estate, whereas the blessing was more like a passing of the torch when it came to the familial role, like, yo, now you're in charge. So in the previous episode, Jacob talked Esau out of his birthright. But now Isaac is about to give Esau the blessing that should rightfully be his because he is the firstborn. Okay, so, yeah, son, I'm getting older. I'm just grab your bow and arrow, go hunting and hunt for some wild game, bring me my favorite meal, and I'll eat good, and then I'll bless you, son. And Esau was like, "All right, pop." So he goes hunting. Rebecca, ear hustle. This woman, her ear hustle game is strong. So she hears what Isaac and Esau just talked about, and she runs and she tells Jacob, "Son, listen closely and do what I tell you to do. Your father is about to bless Esau." And he told him to run and hunt for some wild game, prepare his meal, and then he'll give him the blessing. But this is what we're going to do. Go grab me two goats from out in the field. We're going to take a little shortcut. Grab me the goats. I'm going to, dress them. I'll make sure that they taste delicious. I'll make his favorite meal. some fresh bread, take him a little sip of wine, and you take it in there, and then your pops will bless you instead. And Jacob was like, listen, Ma, like, I appreciate you having my back and all, but Esau is hairy and my skin is smooth and moisturized. Like Pops is gonna tell the difference. He's gonna know. If he touches me, he's gonna know. And then he's gonna curse me. And Rebecca was like, son, let the curse fall on me. Don't even worry about all of that. Do what I said. Go get the goats. So Jacob runs and he goes and he grabs the goats, and Rebecca cooks them and makes this delicious meal, and she's rummaging through Esau's closet, and she's like, yo, here, Jacob, put this on. Um, this belongs to Esau, and if you wear it, then you'll kind of smell like him. And then she took the skin of the goats and she put it on Jacob's neck and on his arms. And so Esau was a different kind of hairy, I tell you, but she had all the bases covered for the most part. So Jacob went in. I imagine he was trembling in his sandals. Like I know I would have been, but he walks in and he's like, hey Pops, I got your food. And Isaac is like, who are you? And Jacob's like, it's me, it's your firstborn son, Esau. And Isaac's like, yo, that was real fast, son. Like, I know you're a very skilled hunter, but that was faster than usual. Jacob's like, yeah, the Lord was with me. He put that wild game right in my path, and I unalived it, and I drug it home and cooked it up for you real good. And so Isaac was a little sus, so he's like, yo, come here, son, let me touch you. So he's like, you sound like Jacob. But when he touched him, he's like, but you feel like Esau. So he's like, are you really Esau? And Jacob's like, yeah. Pop's like, how could you ask me such a thing? Of course it's me. And so Isaac's like, all right, let me grub a little bit. So he ate, and he's like, I'm gonna bless you after I eat. So he throws back this meal. And he's like, come here, son, show me some love. So Jacob went and he kissed his father. And when he kissed Isaac, uh, Isaac caught a whiff of Esau's clothes. And he's like, that's my boy. That's my boy. That's just the kind of musty that I know Esau to smell like. You must be him. And so he proceeds to bless Jacob, thinking that it's Esau. And he's like, may God bless you with abundant harvest, and may all the nations bow to you and serve you. And you're going to be the master of your brothers, and they're going to bow down to you. And everybody who curses you is going to be cursed, and everybody who blesses you is going to be blessed. And he just goes into this really incredible blessing. And when he finishes, Jacob, Pops, I thank you. Yes, 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 and amen, and amen, and amen. And I receive it. And then he he goes on about his business. And I imagine that he just wiped the sweat off his brow, like, whew, that could have gone one of two ways. And I'm glad that it went the better way. No sooner than his feet left the room, Esau came back from hunting. And he took in the wild game. He cooked it up real nice. He made his dad's favorite meal. He walks into the room and he's like, um, hey, Pops, I got your food. Get up so you can eat, and then you can bless me. And Isaac's like, his belly's full. I'm sure he's rubbing it. He's so full. He's like, uh, who are you? And Esau's like, what do you mean, who am I? It's me. It's Esau. You just told me to go hunt for you some wild game, make your favorite food, and then you were gonna eat and then bless me. Like it's me. It's Like, what do you? And Isaac just starts trembling. Like he's just shaking. And he's like, "That no good. Your brother did it. He tricked me. He tricked me. He came, he pretended to be you. I just blessed Jacob with the firstborn blessing. And don't even ask, son, because my word is my bond. Like there's no takebacks." And Esau was beside himself. He's like, "I'm sorry, what? What do you mean? You just blessed Jacob? This dude already stole my birthright, and now he comes in and steals my blessing too? Pops, didn't you save anything for me? Can you bless me with anything?" And then Isaac tells him, he's like, "Son, it's not gonna be easy for you. You're gonna live by the sword, and um, you're gonna end up serving your brother." Which is exactly what God said when he talked to Rebecca when they were still in her womb. But Isaac tells him, he's like, "Yo, like you're gonna end up serving your brother." And Esau was livid. Oh, all he could see was red, pun intended, because that's his name meaning. But all he could see was red. He was so upset. He's like talking to himself. He's pacing in his tent, I imagine. And he's just like, "I can't stand Jacob, I swear." And he's like, "Man, if it weren't for Pops, like I'd off him right now." And he's talking out loud, and he's just premeditating how he's going to unalive Jacob after Isaac passes away. And while he's having this uh, audible internal dialogue, I guess it's not very internal, but anyhow, while he's having this conversation with himself, Rebecca, once again with her ears perked, honey, she heard what Esau said. She runs to Jacob. She's like, "Listen, son, you gotta go because your brother is not very happy with you. So here's what we gotta do. You are gonna run home to my homeland in Padan Aram. You're gonna kick it with my brother Laban and just sit tight there, marry one of his daughters or something and just kind of build your family and stuff. Let your brother cool off a little bit because if he snaps, I can't help you, son." So that's what we're gonna do. And so Jacob was like, "Okay, mom." And Rebecca went in and she talked to Isaac and let him know, like, "Honey, I can't stand Esau's wives because them Hittite girls, they do things a little differently, and they just they are a lot to deal with. We do not want Jacob to make the same mistake of marrying one of these females out here. So what we should do is we should send him to my hometown, and he can like stay with my brother and maybe marry one of his daughters, and just kind of build his family from one of them and not one of these Canaanite women." And she really kind of made it as though it was Isaac's idea, but she's like, Isaac was on board. He's like, "Yeah, babe, I think that's a really good idea." And so he ends up sending Jacob and blessed him before he left. And he's like, "May the blessing of Abraham be passed on through you." So now, which is a very big deal because we're seeing how this covenant promise that started with Abraham and that was passed on through Isaac is now being passed on through Jacob. And so um, Isaac just let him know, like, God is going to bless your descendants. You're going to have a multitude of descendants. He's going to bless the nations through you. And, and again, he just reiterated, like, "May the blessing of Abraham, my pops, may it pass on through you, son." And sent him on about his way. And that is how we are going to end today's episode. Because in future episodes, we're going to see some things transpire, because now we have to see who Jacob ends up with and when these nations are going to come about and things like that. But anyhow, I thank you so much for listening. I thank you for being here. It is always a blessing and an honor talking with you. I look forward to our future episodes if the Lord should will me to record another one. Until then, bye for now.